Hey guys, I am back with another video for you today, and I just wanted to go over some of the medical related debts, something that has been long overdue and I've been meaning to go over with you guys for a long time. This isn't like an official debt confession video where I go over all the things. This is kind of the stuff that I've accumulated in the past months that I haven't really talked about in detail. I definitely do want to film an updated debt confession video. So I do apologize if I am talking in a low voice. It's really late. It's hard to find opportunities to film now with Joe working third shift. So he's working now and his daughter's sleeping. So I am filming at like 2:20 a.m. I'm on vacation from work this week. So if you recall, in my high priority binder, I would always cache stuff this here, fit and fueled method. So to kind of touch upon what this is exactly. So I've struggled with my weight my whole life, and I had very unhealthy habits when I was a teenager. I knew from a really young age that I was different from a lot of people, you know, even as young as kindergarten. This girl and I had the same sweatsuit matching set together. It was the Little Mermaid, and her and I were wearing it, and this boy made fun of us and was like, haha, you guys are twins, you guys are both fat and you're wearing the same outfit. Like, so from that age on, I kind of knew that I was bigger and different than the other kids. So anyways, throughout the years, you know, I just developed unhealthy habits. I was anorexic at one point, self-diagnosed. I would be very restrictive. My 9th grade summer into 10th grade, I lost 40 pounds on just the summer break alone. I was taking diet pills. I was being really secretive about food. So I don't know if this is how they are now, but those chewy granola bars, they were 90 calories back then, and they are really small. The chocolate chip ones, I would split it in half, eat it for breakfast, eat the other half for lunch, and then I'd eat whatever my mom made. So if she made like chicken drumsticks with sides, I would take the meat and eat that, and then I would take a tablespoon worth of the helping. So she would make chicken rice and I would take like that much of it, and I would eat in my room so she never saw. And I wore a lot of baggy clothing and everything like that. But yeah, I got down to a really low weight, even in my adult life. Since about 2012 and for the next 10 years, I was on Weight Watchers. I gained back weight in my life, lost it, gained it back. So even on Weight Watchers, like, so after college and then throughout my young adult life, I slowly gained weight and I got pretty heavy set again. So in 2012, I went on Weight Watchers and I lost 40 pounds with it. 40 was always the magic number, so strange. But I lost 40 pounds with it and was successful and kind of still did it, but it was a little lax, and gained the weight back, lost the weight again, like many years later. So what I didn't know was that being in a deficit is very detrimental. It's terrible for you. You shouldn't always be at a deficit. And I've actually sat there and broke down what I've eaten in a day. And because if you know anything about Weight Watchers, they give you a point value system. And I didn't know that what I was consuming was equivalent to 1,200 calories. That is what a 5-year-old should be eating, according to my nutritionist. That is way too low. And just think of it like, so in high school, I was on a restrictive diet. I was eating max 500 calories a day. Plus I was exercising like a lunatic, riding bike all day, jumping on a trampoline, like all these things. So I was burning way more than I was consuming. So that's why I was able to drop the weight so quickly. So then fast forward adult life, on a 1,200 restrictive diet, and I was a cardio bunny, like constantly at the gym, always like trying to up myself on burning calories, like, you know, the machines tell you, and I'm sure it's not accurate, but I would just use that to gauge, and I'd be like, okay, cool, I burned 450 calories in this 2-hour session. Let me burn 500 in the next session, you know? So anyways, all that to say, I tanked my metabolism. And now that I am 37 years old, I've had a really hard time losing weight. Like, those same tools that I did back in the day were no longer working. So I was doing Weight Watchers for like 2+ years, and I just was stalled. I was even gaining weight at times. And I was legitimately tracking. I was eating like good foods. I was gaining weight. My body was at a point where it was learning to survive at 1200 calories instead of burn, because our bodies want to protect us. And so it learns like, hey, we can't maintain this 1200 calorie intake. Otherwise you're going to be dead. You're going to be a skeleton. So my body learned to adapt and learned to maintain at that. So basically what that means is for me to then lose weight, I'd have to restrict even further below the 1200 calories. So all that to say, Fit and Fueled method is a program that I've been doing, and I have been learning to what they call reverse diet. So I was getting my intake up slowly with the help of a nutritionist, and last summer, into the fall, I was up to 2400 calories, and and you also reduce your activity too. So you reduce your activity while you increase your intake. And so I got up to 2400 calories. And that's when the health stuff started happening too, with the gallbladder. Because like, I had always eaten low fat my whole life. And because my intake was higher, I was starting to recognize like I had gallbladder issues and stuff like that. So anyways, that's a whole other story. So that is why Fit and Fueled method is really, really important to me, because I'm trying to learn, it's more than the physical for me, it's also the mental. I always labeled certain kinds of foods as good and bad, and like even during my reverse diet where I was getting my intake up really high so that I could then cut and actually lose weight at a more sustainable calorie intake. You know, I was eating donuts and pizza and, you know, good foods too. But like back in the day when I was doing Weight Watchers, if I were to do a bagel, that would be my entire day of points. I was eating bagels on a regular basis, and my body was I had a recomposition in my body. So I was like, toning up and losing fat, even with my intake being higher. It's just wild. Like, my body physically looked better at a higher intake than it did at the lower. So all that to say, that the past year and a half, I've been making my health a priority. So that's why Fit and Fueled method was really important to me. And my best friend got me onto this because she's kind of had a similar story to mine. So that's why she's been amazing too, and being so understanding. 'Cause I don't know if you recall, but she lent me money almost a year ago for the Fit and Fueled, but then my body started hating me. Like, the journey on this has taken much longer than anticipated because I had gallbladder issues. Like, it just really messed my body up. I kind of had to start from ground zero because of all the gallbladder stuff. But anyways, so she lent me $2,000, and I was slowly over time building up the money to pay her back, which is in here. I put the money in my high yield savings, and I put placeholders in here to represent. So I had 1,000, 100, 200, 300, so $1,300. So a new program was starting in May, and I was just like, oh, dude, like, I just started my cut. Like, my body's finally cooperating. Like, my body took months. I had a hard time getting my intake back up after all the gallbladder stuff and everything. It was really, really, really tough to get my intake back up to the 2,400 calories, which is wild to think that I was consuming that and not gaining weight and whatever. So my best friend, like, really strongly encouraged, like, I want you to see it through. Please, like, just do it. And she's like, just sign up, like, talk to Lauren. Maybe she can work out payment with you. So that is what I did. I had a heart-to-heart with Lauren. who is running this program, but under her, she has my nutritionist, like certified nutritionist. Lauren is a 2 times like bikini model Olympian winner and things like that. So like that's how she knows of reverse dieting, because of in her like professional career, like it's not just for bodybuilders. So and then she's used it to recover from ailments in her body and everything, because she, obviously being a bikini Olympian, had a very unhealthy lifestyle, and of like the constant like cutting and competitions and all that. So anyways, I talked to Lauren, and she was going to be increasing costs. It was going to be so when I first started, it was a much different, it was like an 8-week program. It's much more affordable. It was like a group setting. We'd have like group meetings and stuff like that. But then she was starting to offer one-on-ones, and you'd be with your coach for 6 months, and you weren't checking in every 2 weeks like you were checking in weekly, like undivided attention. You can ask them questions whenever. So it was just more attentive. So anyways, it was going to be $3,000. I talked to her. I was like, I really want to see this through. And, she knew everything that was going on with me, with my health journey, like with the gallbladder stuff. And she's like, you know what? I'll knock it down to $2,500 for you. I was like, great. That's awesome. Let's do it. So I signed up with my credit card, and Jess had already told me that money that you saved up for me, like, again, I'm not in any rush for that back. Just throw that on the balance. So I went from $2,500, and I had opened up a 0% credit card. Okay. It's 0 interest for, I don't know, like 15 months. So the balance was $2,500. Then, because I signed up for that card, I got a cashback bonus, and it was, I was getting $225 back. So I put that right back on the balance. So minus $225. Then I minused the $1,300 that Jess gave me. So then my balance was $975. Now, to be completely transparent, my balance is almost $2,000. It's actually like $1,000 plus. Like it's around $1,900 actually. Now, to be transparent, the reasoning for that was, like I said, around my birthday, I overspent. I was very stressed over my newer health stuff, and I overspent. Now, I had money that I took from a savings challenge that I planned to get a tattoo, and I dumped it back onto the credit card. However, I was being very loosey-goosey with my budget at that time. So even though I had this chunk of money, I had to kind of offset like my loosey-goosiness with my budget in other areas. So I really was not able to dump all of that money like I had hoped. So it was really pretty much minimal, nothing was going to my now like 1,900-ish balance. And I will say too, a lot of that balance is because I always negative self-talked on the idea of opening my Etsy store. And so finally I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to launch it. So I was like home with my eye surgery situation, and I just was like, you know what? Why not? I had said in 2023 I was going to open it, and I had all this free time, and I was on steroids at the time. So I had this like sense of feeling great, even though it was just the steroids. Like I was in a lot of pain, and I was getting minimal sleep, like 2 to 3 hours, like no joke. I can look back at my Fitbit history to show, like it's crazy. So I don't know. I wanted to keep a promise to myself, and so I opened my Etsy. And with that said, all along, since I really didn't think it was ever going to happen, I didn't prepare for it. So I technically have debt in the business, which I put on the 0% card. So a huge chunk of it, like 500, I would say, 500, 600 is Etsy debt, like just getting all the supplies, like the cardstock, the laminating sheets, the stickers, the mailers, the envelopes, you know, all the things. It's really expensive to do Etsy, you guys. So it truly is a labor of love, because right now it's not a profit. I'm just paying myself back for those purchases. And that was my decision. But I figure, hey, it's 0%. And I see where people get themselves in trouble with credit cards. I have been so disciplined this whole time with my debt pay-up journey and not racking up credit cards. But the moment I had the 0%, I was like, oh, I could just buy that now and just pay it back. So I bought like my 2024 planners. Like that's an example of that mindset. It's like, well, it's 0% and I'm planning on saving up the money eventually for it. So it's easy to put our balance on a card because it's like, oh, I don't have the money now, but I'm going to be saving. And that's like, I genuinely am. I'm genuinely saving that money. So to pay that back. But, you know, I'm not perfect on this journey and I wanted to be transparent. So that is that debt alone. So my Citi credit card has around $1,900. And again, that is the Fit and Fueled debt, as well as a little bit of the overspending of my birthday, and also the Etsy debt. And then a small, like, I'll pay it back, you know, I'll buy it now and pay myself back thing, sort of thing. So that's that. Now, the other debt is the obvious of my recent medical debt. So, I can show you. I have something nearby. Okay. So this was my eye surgery. It's my emergency eye surgery on July 10th. So the surgery costed $26,366.69. And then there is insurance payments and that sort of thing. And so my balance is $1,829.53. Once all that stuff started happening and I was kind of like in limbo this past summer of knowing that debt was going to show up at my doorstep, I decided to open up another 0% credit card, and that also had a cashback bonus. However, I am more disciplined with that. So that's not just all of the debt. So there's the $1,800 that I put on the credit card, and I just recently started getting the bills, but I also got my anesthesia bill. So my anesthesia bill, and like every time I go, they do imaging and stuff, and I don't know, it seems like insurance isn't covering it, but anesthesia is like $400 some odd or something. Let me see. So I'm going to have another $410.03 added on to that credit card balance. And then I have like little obscure things. It was like around $160 for like imaging and stuff for every time I go to post-op, and they are doing like check-ins and everything. So let's just see here. So it was $1,829.53 plus 400, what did I say? $410-ish plus about 160. So let's just say my credit card balance for that is going to be about $2,400. And I just got the check-in about a week and a half ago, but that also came with a cashback bonus, and I had asked you guys what I should do with that. And I am going to be depositing that into my high yield savings account so that I can earn the 4.5% interest on it. And then I'll be dumping it on the debt. So with Jess, so I'm not as like, for me to feel better about debt right now, I would like to pay my best friend back. You know, it's going on almost a year, and I know she encouraged me to, you know, because she knows everything obviously that's going on in my life right now. So, but on it just weighs on my mind, and I know how understanding and how amazing she is, but I want to pay her back. It just would make me feel better. When I'm doing savings challenges for debt and everything, that will be dumped into Jess. So this is an example. The Jessie Budgets challenge. I started doing this 26-week challenge, and it's $220, right? 12, 16. Yeah. So there's $220 in this already. Like, I've been making it a priority to budget for this. Then I finished a savings challenge pretty recently, and it's $29. So let's add up these numbers to see. So I owe just $2,000. And so we have 220 in the 26-week challenge. We have $29 of a finished savings challenge. Now let's add up what we have so far in the savings challenges. I'm going to have to pull out each category and count it. Okay, sorry you guys. I was trying to prevent things from falling. Okay, so let's hop over to the extra debt section, which is right here. And we are just going to count. So we have 2032. Okay, and these challenges we have, and I have some money in high yield savings right now, but 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, oops. So $19. Okay, this one I think I have 60, but let's just double check. So we have 20, 40, 50, 60. Shut the box. We have 100, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22. Oh, I don't think I added that 60. I counted it, but didn't put it. Okay, so plus 60. Hopefully that's right, you guys. Okay, then save or no save, we have 40. This one I owe $13, but I have $2. So I'm not going to count the 13 because it's technically not in there yet. That's fine. Then in Roll Your Luck, we have 10, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32, 33, $34. Okay, so then in Roll the Dice, we have 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, $15. Okay, so then this challenge, we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And I kind of explained the randomness in past videos of like, well, why you see random, what do you call it? Placeholder money. But just know it's in my high yield savings right now. All the ones that you're seeing pop up. And then in this final savings challenge for debt, we have 25, 26. Okay, so that is, if I did that correctly, now I'm sure you can let me know below if I did something wrong. Okay, so then we have 366. Okay, so 366 plus 29 plus 220. So we have, wow, that's great, 615. So we have 2,000 minus 615. So we still have another 1,385. So this is the debt that, again, I'm focusing on the most. Originally in this binder of, back in the extra debt section, I specifically had ideas for each category that I wanted to use. Like that Mario challenge I wanted to use for my 401k debt that I have, like for that loan. No, by the time I finish that challenge, it's gonna save up more than what was needed. But anyways, yeah, so again, this isn't like my overall debt. This is kind of more of the recent debt with the eye surgery situation and then the whole fit and fueled thing. So this past 2023 and some of 2022 has been focusing on me being more selfish, saying no to people, and putting myself first. And what that looked like for me was my health and my eating habits. I so easily appease people and yes people, and that even means at home here, you know, I would be trying to work on myself, and I'd be making 3 separate meals, one that appeased me, one for my boyfriend's daughter, and one for my boyfriend. And it was just too much. I had too much on my plate, and I was like, I can't sustain this. I can't maintain this. It's stressing me out. So I started to put myself first, and I put my foot down, and I was like, listen, I am going full force with this health journey, and you are on your own for your meals. There might be some things where we can come together that are more macro friendly, because he loves, like, he's thin and he's never struggled with his weight, so he can literally eat whatever he wants and not gain weight. And he loves things very fatty, and I can't eat that way because of my gallbladder. So all that to say, yes, sadly I've added debt. So I guess if you look at it, I have this 1385. Oh Lord, I always forget. Then I have the almost $2,000 balance on my credit card, which includes the new Fit and Fueled, as well as Etsy debt and random things, plus my credit card that just has my medical stuff, which that, oh man, what did I say? Around $2,400. Yikes. So yeah, I have definitely added debt these past several months, and most of it is medical related in some shape or form. So I'm investing in myself, I suppose, for some of that, but it sucks, but it is what it is. And at the end of the day, I'm really glad that I've done it, because like even with the Fit and Fueled things, like to get a little TMI, I've actually improved my insides because of it. You know, I was depreciated for so long. I've always been chronically constipated my whole life. Sorry, I have this like lingering cough that might come out that I may not be able to edit, so I apologize. I was going regularly again. My moods had improved. Like, just think of, oh, and my energy had increased. Like, I wasn't always so tired and groggy all the time. I felt better. I was able to focus more. I was starting to see all food as good food. I mean, obviously, like, processed stuff isn't good and stuff like that. But what I mean was, I wasn't labeling pizza as bad, you're gonna get fat if you eat pizza, you know? Like, I could actually have a healthy relationship with food and be like, you know what, that actually works in my day. I'm gonna have this pizza and it's not gonna completely blow my entire diet. Because if you've ever been a dieter, you probably know that you might crave something and then you have it, and then later on you feel guilty, and then your whole day is ruined, and then you just blow it and eat like shit and eat junk. And that's the other thing too, was I had a sick obsession with ice cream. I always had to have it. Like, cravings went away. Cravings went away because I was actually eating properly for what my body needed. I wasn't being super restrictive, you know, and staying super low carb or whatever the case may be. Because I was eating proper portions of things and macros meaning proteins, fats, carbs, those cravings, those obsessive thoughts, seriously, I would thought spiral over it. Oh, so crazy. That investment was for my health and for my future, because if I can figure it out now with the help of a nutritionist, which I have paused the past several months, by the way, since the whole eye surgery thing, because I had not been independent up until most recently because of being legally blind and not being able to take myself to the gym and stuff like that. But I will be starting up again soon, but all of this is going to make me a healthy person for now and in the future. So thank you so much for listening, for watching. I know this is a very long video and I appreciate you being here with me. And I'm sorry if it was all over the place. It was really kind of unplanned in what I wanted to say. I kind of just spoke from the heart. So I hope you were able to understand, and I hope you have a great rest of your night. Bye.